What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Team Nerd Herd podcast, where our best advice here is if you want to do it right, collect what you like. But Monday, FANime Talk, the slogan, baby. If you want to view it right, anime for life. And today we are going to be going over Arcane, League of Legends, y'all. It's catch it on Netflix, you guys. It's looking really good so far. Don't want to get into it just yet. I want to holler at my man 50 grand. Hip Hop's in me. What's going on, Steve?
What is going on, my brother Eric the Phoenix, man? I came back from a little time off. Monday came in, no nonsense type of stuff. Wait until 5 o'clock, and here we are, right? We're watching. Dude, we're going to be talking about Arcane over with the League of Legends. You know what I mean? I feel like I was playing the game.
That's right. That's right. It's originated as a game. That's true, baby. 2000, I think it's 2009 is when that bad boy came out for Microsoft and OS. So yeah, not a game I played. I don't know about you or anybody in the chat. If you played the game, light it up. But again, before we get into that, Steve, let's holler at the Four Horsemen faction, baby.
Oh man, shout out to the Four Horsemen faction. They're jumping in action, brother. Look at that.
Oh yeah, dude. Like what?
Yeah, the Lucha Libre leader, man. Brother number one. Shout out to our brother number one, brother Rudy. What's going on? Pillar to this community, supporter to all. And you got some brother number two, Something Wong. You already know something white's gonna happen when he's around, man. So he's the executive producer of the Geek Factor Live. He is that havoc, baby. Yeah, he brings that havoc too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I feel you.
And then you got brother number Trey. You got D-Anime, etc. D-Anime, etc. Senpai.
That ninja, baby.
Legendary.
Yes,
Sonic,
indeed.
if you would.
Oh yeah, I will.
And then you got brother number 4. You got brother number 4 from all the way across the pond. He is Glenn Obi, one with the force and the flatulence.
Yes, Glenn.
He popped right out that ass and scared the shit out of you because he is my horror hermano too. So
that's right, man.
Our brother Glenn, man. And then those luscious beats, man. You got to give shout outs to our resident DJ on Instagram, Beats by Munster.
That's right, man.
Munster Beats, man. With
creating.
Oh man, dude, did you hear the beats from this weekend?
He
threw one up, man, and I was like, I know what my intro is gonna be, baby.
He's putting stank on that. You know what I mean?
That stanky leg.
He's putting that fun and funk. You know what I'm saying?
We want the fun.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? All right, brother. Let's go ahead and swan dive into search chat. First and foremost, man, let's give shout outs to my man GT.
What's up, GT?
Comic, dude. Give him one of these. Give him one of these. Give him one of these. High fives. Give him a live long and prosper.
Gotta hit him with the knucks, Oh
you know what I mean? Right there, brother number 2, right here. Something Wong.
He's always been it. What's up, Wong?
And then you got brother Rudy. Brother number 1.
Rudy. What's happening, Rudy?
Oh man, you got my man Dent Head in the building. My neck of brother, also a horror hermano, dude. And he's an 8-bit brother. You don't even want to see his game, brother. His games are being played, my brother, all day.
All right.
And then you got Lord Chucks over at the BLCC. What's going on, my hermano? What's going on?
What's up, brother?
City collectors are in the building.
Good
got
to
see
you.
The fresh princess.
What's up, fresh princess?
I moved up to a YouTube channel.
What's up, girl? Good to see you.
Good to see you, girl. Good to see you. And I think we are all caught up. With that being said, Eric, we can go ahead and get onto Arcane. But before that, y'all, let's go ahead and give a little message. We know we're going to be moving. We're packing up, moving on up. We're packing up. So let me go ahead and hit this up. If you guys have not subbed up, go ahead and sub up to the channel. It's right there. It is a new channel. We are packing. New journey, new us, new you, community and all. We're going to round it up, man. We got a bunch of new shows and things in the works, man. So we're going to hit it too hard.
That's right. New beginnings, March 1st.
This is a sausage fest. She had to bring
she said not enough eggs up in this party house. Oh, man. Anika, you got a sense of humor, girl.
And you got to give shout outs to HK Wifey 420, my girl J Rails 247, our girl Nicole.
Most
you already know Moonlit Comics Michelle. You know, the
Yes, man,
queens.
girl.
You gotta know.
That's right. The queens of the comic community, man.
All
They
right.
they're doing beautiful things over there, man.
Ginger
But
Benja.
yeah, yes, indeed. You cannot forget all the gals are doing quite well, if you ask me. But yes, you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this Arcane League of Legends. Again, originates as a game. What's going on, JD? Raging Cajun in the house, man.
Oh, look
And
at
we got
this.
somebody else up in the house. What's up, compadre?
Como
Welcome,
ta,
man.
papá? Como ta,
Good to see you,
papá?
brother. Yeah,
Dale,
so
Luis.
yeah, so League of Legends, originally a game, said in the beginning, a game that I'm not really familiar with, other than just the name itself. So the storyline might differ, I guess, from the original story of what the game kind of plays out. But I got to tell you, the animation in this, it definitely has that more of a digital kind of feel, but there are some moments where you're really getting a little bit more of that drawn out animation, especially with some of the action scenes and just kind of like the aesthetics in the background. You kind of get that feel of it. But, the settings takes place, and it seems like it's our world, except we're as we kind of get further along, we kind of see little more different characters. You know what I mean? It's not just human life that we're seeing here, but from the jump, you're getting live action. You guys were getting put in this war right now. It's heavy freaking impact. Fires. People, like bodies everywhere, you know what I mean? Yes, calamity is afoot right now. Looks like the apocalypse is happening out there, y'all. And we get the perspective from two young girls, and they're just wandering in this chaos, and they see one man that is basically taking out another, like a soldier. These guys are wearing gas masks, like they're just looking like Apocalypse Now or something like that, and so it's pretty brutal. But we see that the man, at first, we think that he's kind of a villain, or at least from my perspective, I felt that he was, but couldn't be farther from the truth. It turns out that he's these two girls, their savior, and he picks them up and he takes them away from the battlefield as they're kind of walking away from what it seems like their parents, what it might seem, or their loved ones' corpses. So they're just dead, and so there kind of sets the premise for the journey that we're about to take with these girls, you guys. And it really does take place in a world where we have an upper level, you guys, where the upside, where the Piltover is the name of the upper, area of where the up in the hills, you know what I'm saying? The rich, the wealthy.
High society.
Yes, indeed. High society is living. And then we got the slums, the underground, the lanes is what they're calling their place. And so this is where our characters, and we get a quartet, you guys. We get a little bit of mixed bag, 2 girls, 2 guys. And I love it because the girl's the ringleader. The main character that we're getting our action with is Vi, and she's our pink-haired gal, and she's running the show with 2 guys. A guy named Milo Clogger, who's like, the powerhouse, the big boy in the matter, and Milo looks like the Monkey King, you know what I mean, with these he has thicker eyebrows than y'all. And
a wild hairstyle too.
Oh yeah, dude, with that Super Saiyan style haircut. And the youngest of the bunch, Powder, is our blue-haired girl, and they're on a mission, you guys. They're just running parkouring off rooftops in order to get to this particular place. And so we find out they're at an apartment at a very high top plateau, and they're just sneaking in to get whatever kind of goods they can. And it seems like where they are at the time is like very it's like a scientist's house. There's writing on the walls, like a professor almost. Like they're just here to gather up things, yeah. And they're basically looting this guy's place or this girl's place to basically gather any kind of like wealthy merchandise that they could basically sell or pawn off. And they get spooked when they hear some footsteps coming. They put a chair, I'm sorry, at the door jamb, and it's just, we right away get the action. Yes, very fast pace. And unfortunately, our girl Powder, who's the youngest and kind of the clumsier gal, she makes a mistake and drops a little blue sphere that's glowing. And as soon as like they're booking it out of there, it just blows up. So they're blowing up buildings, they're escaping the law, they're running back home.
Breaking the law.
That's like Beavis and Butthead, baby, taking it back to that 90s. They're bringing it back, y'all. And they're escaping their life. And I see Uncanny Swag. What's going on, baby? Welcome, man.
Swaggy, what's going on, my brother? What's going on, brother?
And so this is going to be our first action scene, you guys, with actual hand-to-hand combat. And they could get confronted by, again, the lanes are basically like the slums. So there's going to be a lot of looters, like it doesn't really seem like you have much allies other than the crew that you're kind of bringing yourself up with, especially with these quartet. And Vi, again, she's the ringleader. And with this particular scene, you guys, you see why, because she knows that she's got a set of hands on her and she's not afraid to throw them.
Yeah, she's a Muay Thai specialist.
That's right. That's right. And her crew is down, even though they don't really want to throw hands, they don't really want to fight. They have no choice. And my man Clogger, he's the big guy, dude. He was just throwing bodies, y'all, which was pretty funny. I have to say, it was pretty comical to see. Yes, that's right, man. With them shades on. What's going on, Battle 6?
What's going on, Liz?
And so, but as this scene is really taking place, Powder being the runt of the litter, she's panicking, and Vi throws her the bag, and she kind of takes it upon herself. She gets spooked when one of the thugs gets kind of knocked up towards her. She panics. She sees him eye to eye, and she books it. And he takes off after her. And while the rest of the group is basically cleaning up shop with these clowns that are trying to, punk them for their loot, Vi is actually getting the scene gets a little heavy when one of the leader of the thugs pulls out a blade, and he's like, you guys aren't going anywhere. And Vi just being real fearless, you guys, this really does. This is basically the scene that won me over for this particular character. And this is not just it, but this is the first scene. She gets right into the guy's face and she says, "You want to see how this ends?" And basically done data. And so we get to where Powder is, and unfortunately, because she's just the younger runt, she panics and she has no choice but to basically abandon the loot that they had, throws it in the river, and she escapes, lives to fight another day. And this takes us. So Steve, I want to hand this to you, brother, because this is where they, where we get to see where their shelter is, you know what I'm saying? So I hand it off to you, brother.
Oh yeah, man, dude. The one thing I could say about this, guys, is that the anime is broken down in so many levels, right? You got panning in, panning out. You got slow-mos. The whole cityscape into the slums, getting into the slums, was just an epic scene in itself. They were just running and gunning. Dude, in my head, all I heard was New York State of Mind. Forget the song that was playing, man. I mean, that would have been perfect because the opening music is great, right?
Yeah, Imagine Dragons. They hit it hard,
Right. And so where we are at, guys, they are meeting up to the gentleman that took in V and Powder. His name is Vonder. He is the underground king, basically. He takes care of his people, and he is a stoic guy, very laid back. We get to see an opening of his scene where two smugglers are kind of, probably, Joey, no nonsense type of guy. They're trying to hustle this one dude, and this one dude is like, "Hey, this is how much I need." The other guys trying to muscle him and try to play him are like, "Hey, you're gonna take this or you're gonna take this night." And here comes Vonder saying like, "Hey, what are you guys doing over here?" And they're basically just kind of shunning him. He comes back and he's like, "Hey, you don't want to threaten anybody that serves the drinks." And that bar that they're at is where the kids come in. But that bar, man, is full of, underground people that are just
That's
willing
like
to
that's
take.
his HQ. You know what I mean? That's like where his stomping grounds. That's, you don't mess with the home. You know.
Yeah, man, and he's taking
Yep.
care of the town, man. So you get to see him in there. You also get to see dialogue between, like, it's kind of like an adopted kind of father to daughter,
Yeah. These
because
kids.
word flies fast. He's already got word that there was an explosion. There was a whole lot of running going on, and
Yep.
there were 4 kids. So he's already puts two to two together. Vi is a little fire, like a firecracker, man. She just does not want to, she's wanting to prove herself, but like, she's also like she's the older sibling of these other kids, man. So they
Yeah.
look up to her. She is like the head. She is the leader.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in so many words, Vander tries to talk to her in, like, basically, these kids look up to you. You got to watch out for them, because if something happens, then what? Something could have
Yeah.
happened back then. So you got to really think with your head,
Right.
and not your ass.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely not that ass. What's up, Alonzo? The leader.
Alonso, what's going on? Cyclops, what's going on, my brother? So we basically get this dialogue between, father and daughter, somewhat,
Mhm.
and basically that's what happens. I mean, there is also, kind of a breaking down, where did you get all this information, and where we get little man, little guy
Yeah.
is basically where they got
Yes.
tipped off to all these goods, to where they got at. So what does Vander do? He goes over to the place where little man works. It's called Benzo's. It's basically a
Yep.
pawn shop for
Yeah.
the underground. They
Hmm.
basically have dialogue, and in that dialogue, you already start seeing murmurs, and the streets kind of getting rowdy. Like, there
Yeah.
is 2 cops that are coming in. They're basically looking for the people that have stolen these goods,
Hmm.
and basically, this one older woman who is part, like, probably a captain, is
Great.
kind of
And
talking.
yeah. Yeah, great. I don't mean to interrupt, but Grayson, and
Oh,
just to
please.
kind of paint the picture of what this girl looks like. I don't know if y'all seen Shrek 2, but she looks like the ugly stepsister. She
Oh,
looks like
yo.
she just looks, she has very manly looking features. But she's a chick, and so
She
she
hit,
has
I was gonna say, she hit
yeah.
every branch of that ugly tree on the way down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunate, but she has a relationship with Vander, right, Steve? I mean, there's something.
There's a respect there.
Yes, there is a mutual respect there, because she's, she lives in the hills, and so she's trying to enforce, but she knows that Vander has a heavy influence in the lanes. It's basically his turf. Everybody respects his word there, and so she's like, listen. So we need an example up top. Unfortunately, so we know that it's come from here. You know what I mean? And so, you're my biggest informant. I trust you, but I'm going to give you this little canister, and this only leads up to me. So you got to. I need to hear from you. If you change your mind, because someone has to be an example. And he's like, well, I'm not going to give you like my own. You know what I mean? So. I'll be in touch, basically, is how this conversation goes. And we really are getting the perspective of just how corrupt it almost feels like this world is. And you really have an influence of power with just different people from society within this world. And we also get a little bit of the buildup of a villainous figure. You guys, we got Silco, and he's an ominous looking man. He's got kind of like a glass eye, if you will, and he's very slender looking dude. But he is working on something, you guys. He's got this, some like a
Serum.
scientist. Yes, he's got this serum. It's like freaking steroids, on steroids, mixed with some purple drink up in there. And
Some
they're
diamond
working
pep.
on, that's right, they're working on something, and they're testing it out on like lab rats, y'all. And so they're basically beefing up, rodents to defeat, those skinless cats, so they're working on something. And so you could tell that there's something brewing, there's something building up here. And so, I mean, honestly, I feel like that does take us into kind of episode 2. And what episode 2 is where we're starting to get more of the bigger picture, because now we're starting to see different perspective from the explosion. Now we're going to see what's going on up top, you guys. And so the apartment that the quartet had snuck into was a scientist guy, goes by the name of Jace, and Jace was working on something big. And unfortunately, because this is something that the Academy of Pitulver, they were not necessarily looking for. There's certain things that you can experiment with, and there's things that are authorized that are illegal. And so while they're going to do this investigation, they see that he does have some, illegal things. So unfortunately, he's got to get taken into the council, where he has to basically answer for, his experiments and what he's doing. And there is a guy, now this is where the world, how I said it, I think you think weird. It's all humans. You think it's humans, but then there's other life here, you guys. And there's a little kind of cat-looking figure, and
like a Snarf-looking figure.
Yeah, Snarf from freaking Thundercats, and I think he goes by the name of Professor Himmendigger, I think his name is. And so he, he's like the head honch in the scientists, freaking, I don't know what you want to call it, but in the Academy, League of Legends. Yeah, the League of Legends. And so he warns Jace, listen, I know what you're doing. Like, I know what you're trying to do, and I don't advise it. Like, you're trying to use science to create magic or to manipulate magic, and that's not something that we're doing. That's not it's been done in the past. It's kind of been something that's bigger. Almost, that's what it sounds like. Heimendigger, but he he is basically telling him, look, this is what you're gonna say to Lord Chuck says comic digger. Yeah. Well, he might be that geeky scientist that does the same, bro. And so he advises him, when you go to the council, this is what you're gonna say, that you had no idea what your true intentions were with these experiments were, but you apologize for this crime, and you're obviously not going to do it again. And when we do get a little bit of a split scene from this portion of his perspective, we get to see where we get a little bit of a look on back to the kids' point of view, and just kind of what's going on with them. Vi basically she's wanting to prove herself as like a leader. She's Vander, you could tell, really does have high hopes for her, but he also knows, listen, like, the decisions that you make are not only affecting you, but the people around you. And look at, you got, your 3 that are kind of underneath you, and they look up to you, and you need to start, thinking a little bit more clear. And so she's kind of having this conversation with her group of friends, and they're basically saying, like, I don't think things would have gone the way they did if we had Powder with us. Unfortunately, she's just not cut out for this yet. Not to say that she isn't entirely, but she just screws up. She jinxes everything that they're basically doing, that all the mishaps that they're doing, And so, but in her defense, you guys, like, we're not just seeing, dope. She is a little bit of a hard ass for such a peewee. You know what I'm saying, Steve? And I think I understand the scene that you're going through, and I want you to take this one, dude.
Yo, man. So like they're in hiding right now. They're in an arcade. Yeah. I love the character building and the fact that you get to see V and all her liquid death, man. Quench your thirst, bro. Murder your thirst, if you would. You know what I mean?
It's done.
I'm finna get one right after. Just die,
brother.
Yeah. Die.
Kill that thirst, baby.
Right? So they're in the arcade. You get to see Vi just dodging this what looks like a boxing arcade, guys. It's just throwing punches. She's dodging. She's hitting. She's the fighter. She's the brunt force. I mean, the scene is amazing. She's just going ham on this game.
She's a scrapper.
And then you get to see my man Super Saiyan. What's that fool's name?
Milo, yo.
Milo. What a
Milo.
dumbass name. Milo. Milo and Stitch. Get the
Yeah,
hell out
yeah.
of here. You know what I mean?
You
But
know, with
so
them haircut.
yeah, man. Milo's over here talking bad already on Powder, and Powder puts up the game. She's the one that like is basically she's smarter. She's like an engineer of some sort, right?
Yes, yes,
And she
yes.
puts everything together. This fool Milo don't even have no aim. You know, like he's blind in one ear, blind in one eye, and can't he see in the other. And your
Yes, yes. He's
and your girl Powder, man, she just over here blasting that game like she owned it.
yes, she's sniping. She's literally sniping, getting headshots. She's shooting at the heart, you know, with these very narrow spaces. So yeah, so she definitely shuts him up, you know.
I mean, some people would agree, Alonzo.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's
some
true,
people
man.
would
That's
agree.
true, babe. That's right.
But even
Yeah.
then, man, that in that scene, there's again another slow mo. Again, Vander has talked to the town. He's told them you need to protect the four, and you know the police are there. They're trying to shake up and stir up things. They're trying to look under every rock and try to figure out what is going on so they can get them.
Mhm.
And what happens, man? Like there's cops outside, and true to Vander's word that he has the people, the guy they're asking for where the kids are at, spits on the guy's shoe. He gets thrown out the window, dude, and they're the cops. They're in there, and then you get scene two, man. You get scene two where they're just dodging, they're running through, man. It's just straight up mayhem in the city, dude.
Yes, at all times, very fast paced. You know, it really does set the tone for now what's kind of coming, because the police are getting involved. It's like frequent visits here, you guys, and they know something. They know that it's a group of four that have done something, and so again, like Steven said, they barely escape again. Vander is basically, he has some decisions to make because he knows that he can't give up his kids. You know, basically, to him is what they are. They're part of his crew, and so he's trying to figure something out. And he's trying to tell him, like, look, you guys need to stay low. You guys need to stay out of sight until I can kind of figure this out. And they're asking Little Man what Steven said, Echo, where they basically got this information. And Echo is a very unique character. He doesn't have a lot of spotlight yet. I'm hoping that he does later on. But you know, he's the kind of the informant, if you will. He knows things, that he's basically he gets word. Basically, he goes to where this is Benzo's spot, and he's, you know, kind of like a tinkering guy, similar to how Powder is. And he goes up to where the attic basically is kind of spying on a conversation that Vander and Benzo, kind of have. So then he figures out that Vander has this relationship with Grayson, and he's like, look, like, Vander has some intel, you know, and he kind of knows what's going on. And so this kind of rubs Vi a little bit the wrong way, because she's like, why aren't you doing, you know, anything about this? You know, like, we should be going to war. Like, this is like ridiculous. Like, she's tired of living the life that she's living. You know, she's ready to go to war because, up top has basically taken everything that she has, that she had near and dear to her heart. And now, like, she's obviously forged these new relationships with, obviously she's had one with Powder, but then of course with Vander, Milo, and Clogger. And I will even say Little Man Echo is probably in the mix with that, along with Benzo. And so, Vander is like the very fatherly looking figure and giving fatherly advice, and he's saying, like, you're willing to fight for the people that you love, but are you willing to lose the people that you love in the process? Because they're looking at you as the example. If you go to war, they're going to go with you, and not all of you guys are going to survive. And so this now takes us to the council meeting where Jace is at, and he we have a very unique looking characters of what the council are. I mean, there's a guy that he looks like he's from Star Wars, the droid district. He's one of the council members.
Straight up, dude.
Yeah, we got Comic Digger, whatever that little cat's looking name is. We got Elora. She's a very very beautiful looking character. We have another patron who basically is Jace's, like, I guess you could say, sponsor or patron. That's like who he's kind of underneath, I guess you could say, right, Steve?
He had also, what it is that when they were investigating his crib, with the explosion, he was there searching, and he said, "You're onto something." And I don't necessarily disagree with it, so I'm gonna see what happens. And this was a crazy scene, because like, as he was told to kind of just say this, he doesn't. He says he was basically trying to merge magic or create magic, and science, that it's unheard of. Yeah, mixed with science, and they're basically telling him, like, enough, like, you're done.
Yeah.
And
but he while in doing so and in saying that, like, he really does kind of get, you think that he's going to get the whammy, but the leader of the scientists, he kind of like sees reason a little bit more. And though it seems like the only people that are entitled to speak are obviously the council members, and then the person that they're basically on the stand. And Jace's mother actually requests to speak. Request is granted, and so the professor agrees with his mother and says, like, you listen, like, this is what we're gonna do, because obviously we can't banish him out from Piltover, which is originally what many of the council members wanted to do. He says, but I think a better course of action would be to have him handed over to the care of his parents, but he can never set foot in the academy again. So that for Jace, a major science enthusiast, and really has his life work on the line, that's basically like banishment for him anyway. And so he gets let off, and so all the council members agree. However, there is one member, not a council member per se, but going back to what Steven is saying, he was there when they were confiscating all of Jace's equipment, and so there's something to him, and this guy's name is Victor, and he kind of sees what Jace is like what he's trying to do, and he kind of agrees with some of the journal entries that he had confiscated and was looking at, and he's talking over with the professor, like, it doesn't seem like this guy is wrong, but the professor saying it's not that he's like necessarily wrong or right, but this is just a matter that we're not to be messed with. I've seen it. Cat's been living for 700 years, you guys, so he's lived.
Boy's been around the block and then some. You know
what I mean? Yes, indeed. And so he basically knows the way this story is going to pan out. And so, but Victor kind of sees otherwise. Like humanity's dream are endless. So he's thinking that he's going to go and talk to Jace, and right in the nick of time, because we do get some scenes where Jace is basically mulling everything over, has a conversation with his mom. He's still not happy, and he's just going back to the scene of his blown up apartment, and he's ready to basically like end it all, until Victor comes in and he says, "Hey, let's work together here, because I believe in your work. I know what it's like to basically work to a certain degree to get to, because this is how I got to my place. I came from the lanes and I worked my way up. So let's do this together." And so
from the bottom, now we're here.
That's right, baby. He's like, we're upstairs, baby. And so so the magic that they're trying to work on, he gives it a name. It's called Hex Tech, you guys. And so that kind of being said, we get more now we go into like where Silco's, what he's kind of planning, and he he has one of the basically the leader of the thugs that were trying to take the loot that Vi and company had, and he's talking trash, major trash. He's threatening this kid, and he's saying, he's talking to him about strength, and he's got that steroid drink, that double shot, and he's telling him, if you're ready, let's do this, and so the kid takes a swig, you know what I mean, and we don't really necessarily get an opportunity to see what happens, but Vi, we get forwarded over to Vi, and she really takes what Vander said to heart. And so what she's going to do is she's going to turn herself in as responsible for the blow up, the crime, and everything, because she really has a big heart, and she cares for her family. And so Vander gets wind of it. He understands. He knows what she's going to do, because before she leaves Powder, she leaves her little memento of this bunny that she, as a gift. And so Vander intervenes, and this is where it takes us to episode 3, you guys. And so episode 3 picks up where episode 2 is off. And so, Steve, I know this is something that you were mentioning it to me all day, dude. So I want you to go ahead and hit this up, brother.
Oh my God, dude. Basically, the other thing that this really opens up to is that they're trying to, because Vander gets taken. Yeah, so we come to find that they're going to rescue Zen.
Yeah, I was going to say, please pull up Zen, brother. Yeah, Zen, brother. Good that you're here, man. Drive safe, brother.
Yeah, man. Drive safe, brother. So, in getting back into this, I mean, you're going in to see them like go to Vander, right? They're going to go to Vander because obviously at the end of episode 2, he's going to stop. As they're going in, Vander has been taken, and old girl, man, Vi. As you see, freaking Milo and Stitch, or Milo and Otis. You know what I mean? He's trying to unlock.
Oh no, you're
I'm way ahead.
Yeah, you're jumping a little bit because so what ends up happening is Grayson, the police. I know you do, but we're setting the tone here. We're setting the tone, baby.
All right. Okay.
And so Vander is basically turning himself in. Grayson is, she's like, "Are you sure? Like, I feel like the underground needs you. You know what I mean? Like, you're basically their representative, and so." Like, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, give me the girl, because they know Vi is behind this door. And so Vander's like, I can't do that. So he's gonna, basically, give himself up. And so who meets them outside? They see the fog lift, and it's Silco in the distance. And Benzo has had it up to here. So it really does seem like that Benzo, Vander, and Silco have something, in their past, right? So because this war was happening before, what we know now. And so Benzo gets, he gets fired up, and he's got a pipe, and he's ready to light Silco's ass up. But in the process, he just gets taken out. Oh, what's going on, Sheena? Welcome, girl. Good to see you. Oh, ¿cómo estás? What's up,
What's going on, Robert? Look at, he's over here. Hola, hermanos de pastel de crema. You know what that means? That means he's giving us cream pies, dude.
Oh yeah, you know?
Extra frothy.
Oh yeah, dude. Cream,
Yeah.
And so these cops are getting taken out. Benzo got blasted. Just by an unknown figure from what we see in the beginning. And Vi is unfortunately just having to witness this through stained glass, and she doesn't necessarily see everything that's going on. However, Vander is just broken, and he gets clocked, and he gets knocked out by this, that juiced up kid, and so it really does transform them into kind of like an abomination, from Marvel. He just mindless almost, you know what I mean? He's a big dude. And so the only one that survives is a cop named Marcus, and Marcus has something to do with Silco. He says this wasn't the way it was supposed to be, and Silco's like, plans change, and he just hands them, some money. But you could tell that Marco is not happy with the outcome of what happened, especially because Grayson, that she's like, the chief of the precinct, she got, so she's out. And so now it's basically wartime, you guys. And so Vi gets out and she goes back to HQ and is basically telling Milo and Clogger that things are going to happen. And they get wind of it also because they know, hey, I hear the lanes are going to war. And so they're preparing everything, Vi's getting her boxing gloves that are made out of metal, you guys. This is no play. No monkey play,
Vander's old.
They're Vander's old mitts. They're his old mitts, and she's ready to put him to the test, you guys. And so this is where things really do end up taking off. We get from here, we get a perspective from the scientists, you guys. And so Victor and Jace are basically going in to the council, chambers, and they're going to go to the lead scientist's room in order to confiscate what they took from Jace. However, their plans get a little messed up because Elora comes in and she's like, what are you guys doing? And they're trying to play dumb, like, oh, this ain't my room, And so she tells them, listen, like she's listening to them, and Jace is a fast talker, and he says, listen, like, this is something that is possible. I can do this, and if you just give me this chance. And she's like, well, I don't deal with promises, like, show me proof. If you could do this, like, you're basically in, and so she gives them the opportunity, and they start getting to work. They figured out the formula, all that jazz, and they're finally getting this machine working. Yes, indeed, man. If you guys could hit those likes, we'd appreciate it. And so now this is where you're getting the almost the same scene, just from different angles, different perspective of what's happening, because now Vander gets taken back to Silco's lair. We find out further the relationship that Silco and Vander had. It seems at one time they were brother in arms, and that they may have had the same view for the future, especially with the lanes and how things are going on. Appreciate it, man. And so Silco is saying, you were the same, you were like me until you betrayed me. And we do get to see some flashbacks of Vander kind of choking Silco out underneath the water, and Silco
getting stabbed.
That's right. So it was just a big, heavy altercation. Vander gets stabbed up, and it's just it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well, especially for Silco, because Silco, he's basically got one eye and one glass one that looks pretty vicious. And so he is basically holding him captive, but he knows that his crew, the kids, are going to come after him. So Vi tells Powder, listen, you're not coming on this trip. I hate to say it, but you're not ready. And mind you, this entire time, Vi has been her biggest advocate, biggest supporter, but she just is like, listen, I need to talk you down to this one, because you cannot go here, because this might be my last, basically, time seeing you. So they get going. They find Vander. They go in. They're trying to pick the lock, and we see Silco. Silco is like, what's up, you guys? No. And now, with that being said, this is what I'm talking about. This is where Steven is just ready to,
Oh, man, dude. So, you guys see her walking in with the freaking knuckle dusters, and she's walking. Yeah. She's like, I got to fight him. And Vander's like, don't do it. And she's just like, I got to do it. And so Milo's getting all tripped out, trying to unlock him. And Vander is telling him, calm down, just relax. And you see Vi just walking up, and there's this big guy with a knife, dude, straight freaking tries to shank her. She just moves out the way, and just uppercuts this dude all the way to the bleachers, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Just knocks his ass out, and then the fight comes. You guys see a full frontal, like what you would see in a real fight. Like if somebody was to come to you you'd see the full frontal. And they're in a little alleyway, right? Now, not even a little alleyway. It's like a bridge of some
Yeah.
sort, industrial.
Yep.
Something that you would see like in Batman or something like that. But she's
Oh,
just
yeah.
cutting those corners. She's knocking them out. She is fighting the good fight, guys, and she is killing the numbers, man. You also got Milo working the locks. You got my man, who's big brain,
Clogger.
Eric.
We got
Clogger.
Clogger. You know, he's Ironhide right now. He's
Yeah,
making
and
pathways, y'all.
he's trying to make the pathway out, but Powder did not listen, y'all. She went in, she finds what she stole, those orbs, and she remembers that they're an explosion. She puts them in her bombs, and what you get is Vi fighting. You finally get to see Vi get down with one of those guys that the head of the guys that got juiced up.
Yeah.
And now she's fighting him, and it doesn't look good, guys. But what happens is Powder's bomb is there to save the day. It goes off, but unfortunate, she put a little too much pack in that punch. It knocks out the dude a couple steps, but everybody on the inside that is protected, which is, you know, Vander's okay, but you know, your boy Clogger, man, he gets clocked out already, man. He just hits his head against the wall. He dies.
Yeah.
You know, Milo gets a pipe right through him. The bricks land on him. And you see Vi there just lying there, you know, in sheer disbelief of what's going on. And Vander comes up and just fights a good fight. And he's actually taking it to old juiced up boy, you know,
with brass knucks on, you know, nothing but brass knucks. And this guy, he's taking it. Man. He's taking him off.
Yeah, Vander was G, man. He was super G, man. Just had his fight. And unfortunately, you know, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, man. The villain takes it to him, beats him up, and you know,
Silco stabs him from the back. Silco stabs him from the back too. That's right. You know, no pun intended. That's what really happened. You know, and you know, and Vander ends up getting tossed away, you know, off the bridge. You know, but as fatherly figures do, right, Steve? I mean, he finds when there's a will, there's a way. And so Vander finds some of that, you know, that magic juice, and he slurps some back, and he basically comes in for round 2, you guys. And this really, you know, since he's a large man, you know, big, stocky, burly fella, he gets even more beef caked up and just starts kicking some ass. He beats up that kid that's juiced up to save Vi. And unfortunately, you know, Vi is kind of like taken back, like kind of spooked, because she doesn't, you know, like never, obviously she hasn't seen Vander like that. And Vander does what he can, and he takes her and just jumps out, and you know, as the explosion happens. And so unfortunately he doesn't survive. However, his last words, are take care of Powder. And so she's, you know, Vi is kind of hobbling back, away from Vander, and then out comes Powder, and she's like, did you see my bombs? Like, did you see, like, you know, basically proud of herself. And in her defense, you know, like, she's all good intentions, but again, it's just wrong place, wrong time. Timing is everything, you know, when it comes to crucial situations. And this was just the crucial one. And Vi gets very emotional and slaps her, says that this is all your fault. You didn't listen. You should have stayed put. And so she leaves, and Powder is crying, trying to get her sister back hysterically, you know, like she does not want to be abandoned. And she has, you know, she's just overcome with emotion. And so, she goes in to rest a little bit. And just as like she sees in the distance that Silco is there in front of Powder, and she's going to go in to try to save her. And Marcus, the cop, comes in, you know, puts some cyanide over and says, like, you don't stop, he's going to kill you. And he drags her away. So she's heading, you know, so this is where we get our girls. They're separated, and Silco kind of taking a little bit of pity, you know, and advantage of Powder. He tells her, you know, don't worry, like, you know, like we'll show them, like, because she's saying, like, I don't have a sister, like, you know, she abandoned me. And so we do get to see a little bit of a change of color in her iris, because when this explosion happened, she was obviously close to the magic or the science, magic, and so who knows what this might have done to her. And so this basically is taking us now, and I feel like for episode 4, Steve, that we're going to get a little bit of a time skip. Our girls are going to grow up some, and so I can't wait to dig into the next 3 episodes of this, you guys. It's a very short series so far, 9 episodes, so we're going to cut this in 3s, and we're going to get at this next Monday, you guys. This is something good. What's going on, Ninja? I wonder if she's in class right now, kind of listening in.
She should be studying. She don't play by the rules, though.
Yeah, she's got her own blade. She puts her own rules up, So
you damn right.
Yes. So you guys. With that being said, this is so far. The story is pretty enriched. Again, I don't know if this has anything to do with the actual game, but from what we're getting so far, it is pretty good. Mm-hmm. I know. Don't end it now. I'm sorry. I know. But yes, you guys. So I would say this is definitely worth the watch, especially if you guys are fans of the game. I hear that at one point, it maybe even still, this game has a big following. I know a lot of cosplayers do the Vi and Jinx cosplay, so they're heavy into it. But yes, you guys, if you guys are interested, definitely give this a watch. Let's see if you can watch this. The breakdown got me. Yes, Zen. It's pretty good, man. My man Zen, he's doing beautiful things with games over there, man. Deep conversations. I love it,
I'll say where?
Oh yeah, Zen, yeah, man. Zen's got it going on over there. So you guys, we appreciate, you guys listening in to this kind of first half, or I guess you could say thirds of this Arcane, the League of Legends. And, again, just to kind of get you up and prep you up for the week of what's going on, you guys, again, like what Steven said, March 1st, we are moving channels. He did have the link in the description, you guys. He just threw it up right there, my man, right on cue. So definitely, sub up to that channel, you guys, because we're going to be there. Like Steven said, the content's, just going to be continuing to come, you guys. And we're always happy to put it up. And so Steve, so for this week, what do we got going on? I know Thursday we got that mail call. We got to, what I'm saying?
Man, we got that Near Mint Sundays on Near Mint, Sunday. So don't forget, man, there'll be some Near Mint Sundays. Go ahead and put that up for Alonzo right there. That is the new channel. Go ahead and sub it up. But also, so tomorrow we got Comic Lovers. So we got a new edition of Comic Lovers for the comic horror in you. If you guys love those covers, you definitely want to go ahead and get you some on the Comic Lovers. You got my man Big Rob, my man Jeff, you got Morello Tunes from over at CBSI. So you got to check them out. Definitely check them out. On Thursday, we got Near Mint Sunday for Mondo Mail Call. He is going to be coming on, but he will also be talking about, if you're a SoCal cat, definitely show up to Near Mint Sundays. Your boy's Team Nerd Herd will be there. We will be shopping, but we also will be selling. You know what I mean? We got them books, man. We got them hats. So there's a lot going on. And other than that, my man, I think that's it, brother. I think that's it. So we can go ahead and say,
yes,
we're gonna go ahead and take it out, man. We're early.
That's right. We're gonna close it out. That's right. We're going to close it out, you guys. Again, thank you guys for joining us. Everybody in the chat, we love you. We appreciate you. Everybody in the rewind, same goes for you guys. Can't wait to see you guys for the next episode. And with that being said, if you want to view it right, anime for life, baby.
Oh, life, my bud.
Life. Peace out.